gets worse as we go. And I kept sending text message and calling DM lady. Because my boss is, I don't have anybody else's number. But, and I don't even know but about two names of people in that store because, like I told you, they're not real friendly folks. So anyway, um, they, I had a manager, I guess the head manager of the store that works 6 days a week because she's Seventh Day Adventist, so they don't work the seventh day. It's part of her religion. She's usually pretty calm, but I don't trust anybody in that store, not even her. I hate to say it. All of them are so toothy. But anyway, so I, pretty much keep to myself. I just do the work that I'm supposed to do, and you know, can't wait to leave. Um, and she had took me in the one back room, and there was a big box sitting on that desk that's covered with stuff, and uh, it had a bunch of food in it, like loaves of bread on the top and some other stuff. And she said, "Now this box is for Kayla and somebody else." She said, "I don't even know who Kayla is." Um, and she said, "I brought that for them because they have no food." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "I work at a food bank," and so I had sent her a message later, and I said, "Can I bring some food for them to help them?" And here I am, it's like foodless. I got a little bit of stuff the other day from caring and sharing, and because the church authorized it. And there's stuff in there, they don't let you pick or anything. And there's stuff in there that's I would never eat, like chicharrones on fire things. Those things, they're like chips, pig skins. That's there. I would never eat that. And then there's like stuff with little weenies in it, so I would never eat that. But I don't want to waste it. I mean, I would take it and feed to the fish and stuff first. But if there's young folks here that are starving for whatever reason, maybe whether they're not good with finances or that job, it seems so hard to get paid over there. Like that kid that's worked there since opening. That store I think's been open just 3 months, maybe. They had just opened it at that location, but it's not going to last long. Um, but anyway, as a matter of fact, I the other day. Um, it concerns me. I don't like to see anyone go hungry. I used to live on a corner where people used to drop strays off, and I had a neighbor come down and complain to me, "All your damn dogs." I said, "I don't own one animal." I said, "All I have is a fish tank with fish in it." you know, and I would feed those animals because they were starving, they were sick, and it was really sad. And I think a lot of that's because people, you know, can't afford to pay vet bills and all that. And it's a very large responsibility to have animals, just like a child, a human being. They must go to the doctors, they must get shots. Heartworms is a really horrible death for an animal. They get that from being bit by mosquitoes, and worms grow through their heart and eat them up and kill them. Amongst parvo and other things, it's just really expensive to get an animal. And if you can't afford it, don't get one, please. It's not fair and it's not right. Um, uh, and that's probably a lot of the reason why they get killed off in the shelters because you know um, people just dump them and then they end up and they have so much time to get to live before somebody adopts them and then they terminate them. And I would venture to say that a lot of them are pretty sick because they haven't been to doctors. So um, anyway, it could be just poor judgment on their financing because they're young. and they'd rather buy a $200 pair of tennis shoes than feed their face. I don't know. It could be a huge possibility because the way the payroll is with that corporate, and it's a long time corporate, that stresses me that everything's so darn Mickey Mouse. Um, and don't think they're not making huge money at that store because they are, and they could make four times that basically if the stock was out on the floor and not sitting in the back rooms stacked to the horrendous amounts of boxes. And um and nobody wants to work when they come to work. But anyway, it breaks my heart. um you know I remember, my daughter was in a hotel and she called me one day and said, what did you make today? And I said, what do you mean what I make? She said, what did you cook? And I said, nothing. And she says, why? You always cook every day. And I said, well, that's when you were here. I said, it's just me by myself. And I have an uncontrollable cooking where, I cannot cook for one person. I have to cook for an army. I can't justify it. I don't know how to cut back and make little stuff because I'm used to cooking huge amounts of food for years, for my kids and stuff. And then I freeze the rest so that it's like, homemade TV dinner kind of thing. Take it to work, stick it in the micro, Um, if we don't have time to cook, we just heat it up. Um, and I can cook, okay. And my daughter was like, "So did you cook anything?" I'm like, "No." And she said, "Well, I'm hungry." And she was in this hotel. Oh, it was a nasty hotel. And I said, "You don't have any food?" And she worked in a place with food too. Um, so I said, "Well, uh, uh, I'll be right over." So I took half of all the food out of the house, and um, I mean, hell, she had paid for a lot of that herself because during the pandemic she uh, was the only one working basically. I was doing some DoorDash on the side, and she was doing it with me too. So when she wasn't working, and we were just trying to survive during that pandemic shutdown. So anyway, um, I have got a hair in my eye. So anyway, you know, I am gonna have to. I'll stick it over there. So, uh, you know, but it really concerns me, with young people, and I don't like to ask for help from anybody. I won't do it till it's like way overdue. Okay, so and being hungry is very painful. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's a very painful, horrible thing. It's like a slow death. So anyway, I don't wish it on anybody or any animal, any stray animal, nothing. So anyway, you know, this manager sent me this message that it was something to the effect of uh, most of the crew is starving. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, bring anything that would help. You're welcome to. I was like, wow. Now here's people that treat me like total trash. But I love everybody, okay? And that breaks my heart. Whether it's bad financing or they can't get their payroll from this crappy company, like that one boy has never been paid since they opened. That company, somebody needs to be arrested because I don't think that's legal to have people continue working for you and you can't issue them a payroll check and FedEx it overnight or something. I mean, my gosh, times have changed, haven't they? I've never heard anything like this. You can't pay me, I'm gone, Jack. And that's the next problem. My payroll, which I've inquired about 2 times. They don't tell you much. You know, just like you're not introduced to everybody that works there. When you say hi to somebody, they don't want to say hi to you. They just kind of look at you like you're invisible. Strange situation. But anyway, I went to the Presbyterian Church yesterday in Fort Walton and talked to them there. I went over to Caring and Sharing and talked to them there to see if I could get, some boxes of food um, to put in my car and take to work with me for these kids. And they were like, well, we're not, sorted to do that. And some of the churches, they have food there. And they'll just go, here, come to this closet, and they'll like hand you a bunch of stuff. And but this one doesn't. And so they sent me over to the Caring and Sharing there, which I'd never been to that one. And she says, well, I don't know, but you'd have to fill out a form. I said, well, I'm not doing that. I said, because, it's not for me. I said, it's for my coworker. She's like, well, how many of them? I said, probably 15. I'm not sure how much is on staff. I mean, I see different faces most days, and I understand most of the crew calls in repeatedly, and they still take them back to work. I know one kid that claims he's walking. He's like, well, there was no gas in the car for anybody to go to work, so like I had to walk, like 3 miles, and so uh, I would have a meeting with the head guy that's in control of all that stuff because they just couldn't just hand me some stuff, and then I said, okay, um, just let me know. Well, maybe they might, come down to the store because they asked what store it was, and I told them, and they were really concerned, and they're like, "What are the ages of these people?" I said, "They're, young folks." I said, "I'm guessing probably like, 19 to 23. I'm guessing. I could be wrong, but that may also be the reason why they're like, a den of wolves because they're cranky because they're starving. You know what I mean? Their actions are not good, and they don't work. They want to stand around and yip yap and talk about terrible, sad things, and instead of work. And I feel like I'm the only one working in the whole store. I swear, really, I do. And so, uh, that just really broke my heart, and I felt so bad to go to work and not be able to bring all that stuff, to help people. And I've been like that all my life, you know, when I need to be helping myself and not doing all the stuff I do for everybody else. I give away, give away, give away, give away, from cars to food to money, turn people's utilities on and never ask for anything back. I've done it for years and years and years, whether I had money or not. Um, and a lot of the time it's worthless. A worthless because they're on drugs or whatever, or just a loser. And it makes you feel like, man, what a bad investment that was. But sometimes you just take the risk. I mean, I know what it was like when I left home young, and I know how hard it was. And I had a few people, only a few, that were there for me and were very kind to me. And you know, uh, I was lucky in that big grown up world. But anyway, so they had my number and all that. Well, I got a call back while I was at work yesterday, and I wasn't sure what it was. I found out just now who it was. It was the older lady that works over at that Caring and Sharing, and they had that meeting yesterday, and they're very concerned. And they told me they would authorize me to come to pick up some stuff today, like after 1, to take to the store for those kids. She said, the only thing is, we've got to have you fill out some kind of form. I said, well, I don't want it like in my name kind of thing, you know, um, especially when I just got a little bit of stuff from their other store. store in another city, you know, it's going to look like I took food twice or something, and I don't want to get in trouble with that. This is strictly to help my coworkers. Um, all that trash I work with, because I don't want to see anybody starve. Um, and it may improve their attitude. I don't know. I'm not saying it'll make them like me more. I just, no one should be hungry. Okay. Um, Not anybody's kids, not my kids. No one should be hungry. So, uh, there's way too many people that donate and over donate and government programs, and no one should be left behind. You know, I know a lot of those scams with those government programs. That's why I don't like to donate, because they're not going to get it. So she just called me a little bit ago and she said, "We've authorized it, but we do need to have some paperwork." And I said, "Well, I don't want money." And she said, "Well, we've got to have some kind of form filled out to prove where the food went." And I said, "Well, I can do that if I have to list the name of the store right on the paper, whatever. I don't care, because I'm a manager, you know. Um, I don't mind doing that, but I don't want it to come, like off my background record or something like that. You know what I mean?" I was kind of hoping they would take a load down there and go, "Hey, we understand that, folks need help over here, and we just want to drop this off." I was hoping they would do something like that. I know another church that does hot meals, and they'll bring them to your work, because they used to bring them to the clubs. And I'm real good friends with one of the girls there, and she wrote this really good book. And I think I told you guys about that before too. And I wanted to try to get a hold of them. And then somebody told me yesterday, they said, "You're wasting your time. That trash treats you like that, and you're out running around trying to get them food." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, it's different. That's a whole different thing. These are people that are starving, from what the, you know, the manager of me is telling me. That has nothing to do with work. These are people that are starving. They're young folks, and a whole lot of them. Not like just one or two. This is a whole lot of them. That really concerns me. So, I try to love everybody. So I don't know. I'm supposed to be at that work today, and I really don't want to go. I hate going there every day that I'm scheduled, because you don't know what's going to happen. Now, the last 2 days I worked, it was peaceful, and I thought, well, maybe that's just their initiation. You know, it's some game they play. But oh no, it gets more interesting as we go. So, I told her I would get back to her today. Um, Yesterday, they finally gave me an employee number. The DM, she was there most of the time. Well, all the time, pretty much, that I was there. She took off for a while, and claimed she was going to get coffee and some stuff for the store. And she's real sweet. Uh, but anyway, they were pretty pretty meek yesterday, and um, a bunch of the bad crew actually wasn't even working. They had a bunch of new hires. I think there was 4 or 5 new people there. I don't know. They could have been, concurrent workers. I don't know, because I don't know everybody, and I'm so busy at work. I don't see a lot, and they don't like introduce you or anything. It is not a friendly store. It's like that. I know nothing. Get almost $20 an hour. Um, but the thing is that, like, they don't teach me anything on the computer. I don't even get to clock in. I have to walk up to management, another manager, and go, "Hi, will you sign me in?" Uh, they don't teach you anything. I don't use any cash registers. Um, don't do the computer. They've shown me nothing. All I've been doing is unpacking boxes and putting stock away, and I'm cool with that. Um, and working the floor. The customers are fabulous, except for the kids that come in to steal. It's always 3 kids at a time, and they're like teenagers, like older teenagers that do it. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And they keep coming back like every day, still more. A lot of theft through that store on that main floor. And then the next problem is, I don't know if I mentioned it before, it's the bathroom. The bathroom in that store is so bad. It's like the sewer beyond. Maybe beyond. It's like, oh my gosh. And it's pretty, just the thing is that it needs to be cleaned. And the water in the toilet's not working right. It just, like, you can flush it, but after it flushes, there's like no water in the bowl. You know what I mean? Um, so, you know, I mean, that could be an out problem outside through the water company because there's a valve. There's like a back flush valve that keeps the water from running back into the property or something. And that valve may be really old and bad and need to be replaced. Um, or it could just be that the valve on the wall for the toilet is not fully open or whatever. And, you know, I might have to be touching it. You know what I mean? They said they had somebody work on it before, and they thought they kind of fixed it, but there's definitely not enough water running through that sucker, and it is just absolutely putrid to go in there to go to the bathroom. And one of the, I guess one of the first days, first or second day I worked there, the manager above me says, "Okay, now you need to clean the bathroom." And I'm like, but there's some jobs where you have to do that. I don't know if that's really part of my manager job or not, but I did. It was cool. You know, she had told me I had to clean the bathroom, and I said, "Okay, where's the cleaning stuff?" She says, "Well, all we have is Windex." And I'm like, "You don't have like any cleaner or anything?" "No, we just have Windex, so that's what we have to clean it with." And I'm like, these people can't afford, to go to like Dollar Tree for $1.25 in tax to go get like a bottle of toilet cleaner or Lysol to mop the floor or something. I mean, this is a big corporate chain. What the heck is going on? You know what I mean? Um, are they not going to finance the store for cleaning products? Is it somewhere in the structure of management that we can't have any, much less a mop? I mean, I didn't see a mop anywhere either. I think I've seen one broom in just somewhere in one of those back two storerooms. But the big storerooms, the warehouse storerooms in the back of the store. But I haven't noticed a mop, or maybe they didn't unpack it and all those boxes. I don't know. Why? There's not even roll of paper towels in there. Okay, there's lots of toilet papers, like, I mean, probably cases. You know, it looks store bought, not like shipped in. You know, from a warehouse or something. And so I'm like, so all there is a toilet brush. There's not even a sponge. And there's a plunger in there, and a bunch of junk stacked in the bathroom, um, on the floor. And so I go back there to clean it, and that was really terrible because I attempted to go in there like one or two times and I couldn't take it. I thought I was gonna vomit. It's so foul. And so I started just going, to one of the other bathrooms near the store, and uh, at another business, and I got jumped for that too. "You're supposed to use this bathroom." I said, "Well, I'm not going to." I said, "You need to buy some cleaner. It needs to be cleaned. I'm sorry, you know." And I shouldn't even have to go out and buy the cleaner. And I've done that before at places, but I'm not doing it today because already there's like, problems about my paycheck. So anyway, I told her, uh, just Windex, yeah. Can you imagine I'm spraying the toilet with Windex, top and bottom, outside, inside? And Windex is diluted. There's not like a lot of pneumonia. A lot of them don't even have pneumonia. I didn't read the bottle to see because some of them don't even have pneumonia now. I mean, no soap. They had a little hand soap, not much, just a little bit in a bottle. No paper towels. There was a little mirror in there, and there's a sink. But you know, it reeks in there, terrible. I think a lot of it's because of the water thing. Um, but anyway, so and literally, you look in this toilet, and there's no water in it. You know, something needs to be done somewhere. But it's a property; it's not owned anyway. So, um, that got on me a couple times. The next few days about, well, our store policy is, you don't go in the outside bathrooms, and you need to go in the bathroom, in the store. And I said, no, I'm not. You better figure out how to get some cleaner so we can mop it and clean it. If you'll get the cleaner, I will mop the walls, the floors, all that, and clean that up back there, even the tank of the toilet, the whole thing, just to get it clean so that everybody can have a clean, breathable to go. It is absolutely unfit. And why should we have to put up with that? That's what I'm thinking. Why should we have to put up with that? But she just kind of looked at me. They didn't have a mop. She says, well, what do you think's wrong? I said, well, I think there's not enough water in the toilet, and maybe the floor needs to be mopped. Maybe people were peeing on the floor. I don't know. I say it just reeks, and I can't do it. Um, uh, I guess on the first day that I was up there, security guard caught me and he said, "Why are you walking over here to use the bathroom?" I said, "Because the place is nasty. There's no water in the toilet." He's like, "What?" I said, "Yep." And he said, "Well, that needs to be fixed." I said, "I agree." I said, "In fact, they have nothing to clean it with but Windex." And he just kind of shook his head. Here's a huge corporate that can't afford bathroom cleaners. And then, like, the next day I come in, and I was talking to DM's husband the day before. She showed up for a minute. And I said, "This place is the most Mickey Mouse place I've ever seen." He's a character, too. And I said, "You can't even believe that we got to clean the bathroom with Windex. It is foul." And I said it, and a security guard jumped me the other day and goes, "What are you doing over here when you're supposed to be in that store?" Going to the bathroom. And I'm like, you know, because it's nasty. And so anyway, what a mess. Anyway, yesterday, I'd asked before from the manager above me, "Okay, when is payday?" And she says, "Well, uh, payday cuts off." I think she said something like it's Thursday, Friday, and then payroll will be the next week, and they ship it to the store. And they have an option. I've read about this option about you can have a card or you can have a check. And see, like I have no mailing address right now, so if they mail the payroll check, I'm screwed. If they FedEx it in an envelope, a bunch of checks, like a lot of the other retailers have done in the years. I don't know what the procedure is today with these kind of stores because it's been years since I worked a sales floor. So I said, "So how do you get the card thing?" And she said, "Well, they'll ship it in to the store um, on payroll day." And I said, "Okay." So I'm supposed to be getting this next coming week a payroll card. Yesterday, I asked again. So I'm really concerned because I have no employee ID number, and I keep getting told every day they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They just have to get on the laptop and put it in or something. So, I mean, when am I going to be able to sign in myself on the computer? And is this going to affect my payroll? Because I have no employee ID number, other than the fact the day before I was shown this schedule that was taped on the back of the door because I suggested they have a store schedule somewhere in a back room on a wall in the office somewhere, and all the employees have copies of it, so they know when to come to work. Uh, because they don't have any. I mean, I get my schedule by text, by the day kind of thing. I got no response for like 3 days, and that's a long time in a payroll week when I'm supposed to be full time and I get paid almost $20 an hour, and I am supposed to be management. The problem is that I've done nothing management. I've not been directed to direct others at all. All I do is unpack tons of boxes every day and put it stock on the shelves, which is okay. Um, I'm learning to stock that way, uh, and then wait on the customers, which I mean they're great. They're a lot of fun, and I can sell. Right? I'm learning the merchandise, so rapidly. Even just walking around the store, uh, that's what I do. I try to memorize everything there, because I have like a photographic memory. So I walk the aisles, especially when they've changed aisles and stuff. I just wish we had more places to put stuff because they shipped all those pegboards in that stand alone, and they haven't been set up on the main floor, and we really need them. That's the next thing. We've unpacked all this crap, and now there's like no room for new stuff. We've got a lot of the store stocked now to the max, but we need room for the other stuff to be on, and it's just getting stuffed up in the back warehouse, 10 foot high, and that it's not selling that way. We've got the stuff to do with, and nobody's doing it. So, I mean, whether we have 10 employees in, which yesterday we had about 10. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen that many people there. But we had some new people too. I felt sorry for them. I'm like, man, every one of these suckers is going to get that initiation. And because that's a vicious group. Um, and then, a lot of times it's just like three people. And it's not because it's slow days or anything like that. This place gets really busy. Rarely is it even slow. And it's like I feel like I'm the only one that's selling on the floor, as they all just stand around in the back, or they stand around, at the cash registers or something, 3 or 4 registers. I can't figure out why none of those are open and why people have to wait in line with hundreds of dollars of merchandise. And man, you sure want to take their money before they walk out the door and leave that stuff there. You know what I mean? It makes me nervous to see a business run so poorly. So, I mean, surely there's other people to check. Yesterday, they actually had 2 checkers on front end, which is about more like it, okay? Um, where people can just walk up to the counter and check out. They don't have to wait, you know. That's more like it. Take that money as fast as you can get it. That's what pays our payroll, man. But anyway, so I'd asked, you know, uh, oh, she took me in the back and showed me the schedule. Oh, we have a schedule now. And she said, and this is you. And she points to it. And I'm like, where? She says, well, your name's not on there, but that's your schedule. And everything else had like an employee number or something and their name. And then the schedule, feeds off to the right in one big long sentence thing. And I was like, um, okay. I mean, you would have thought they'd even hand out my name. It read on there. But it's just a blank space with some hours in a line. And I said, yeah, I guess it is because there's the 3 days I had off because I kept sending messages and calling to find out when I work next because nobody makes a schedule. So I've never worked at a place that didn't have a schedule. Um, so anyway, I find it very odd. So anyway, she shows me my schedule, and it's like all like 4 and 5 hour shifts. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? But that, normally they let me stay over. They don't care because, I'm working and they have plenty of room for payroll, so, especially this week. But anyway, I don't have any managerial duties, okay? They have not given me any, so it's not like I can go around and give orders or ask another coworker to help or anything like that. I just kind of do my own thing. I'm just kind of feeling the store out, trying to, watch what's going on, learn the merchandise, have fun with the customers, and, just wait till they delegate some more responsibilities to me or something. Or if they're not, you know. Um, so I really don't do anything manager at all. Uh, Yesterday, there was, the new people. They're pretty friendly. They're like, hi, and so that's real nice. They exchange smiles and have a few words, and welcome them. I welcome them, so they feel comfortable because a lot of times the first day on the job is kind of scary. So you want to try to ease that, with people. And uh, and I don't tell them I'm a manager, and I don't think anybody else tells anybody else I'm a manager. That's what I was hired for. So I'm not going to say anything about it. Um, I got caught in a few positions yesterday with customers that wanted to return stuff or had a particular question that I didn't know the answer to. And actually, my coworkers that were not in management knew more about it than me because they'd worked for the company previously. Um, they leave and they come back. And so, I'm like, okay, well, this young lady here, she could probably tell you a little bit more about that than myself. And she probably love to help you here. And, they jump right in on it. They're like, they know all the specs of, returns or whatever and all that. Where I don't know these things. Okay, there's no book in this store. There's nothing in the stuff you sign up in on the computer. There's no training, nothing for managers. There's nothing. Nobody tells you anything. It's really strange. I mean, years ago they used to give you like a little handbook or a loaner handbook from the store, and you had to sign for it, and you had to take that home and read that and bring it right back to work every single day. Okay, and um, so you had to learn it by yourself, and then they'd have a series of meetings to make sure you understood, or if you had questions. So I don't know what they do today, but anyway, so it's really strange. It's like I'm called a manager and I don't do anything but what a regular worker does, but it's okay. I mean, I just do my thing. Um, and if they're treating me like dirt on the main floor, then I just go in the back of the warehouse and I'm unpacking stuff. They treat me like dirt in the back warehouse, then I go to the back warehouse, I go on the main floor. I just stay away from them. They're not nice people, they're not friendly, and they're vicious. Like I say, I've never worked a job like this in my life. It's the most horrible job I ever had to work. But sometimes you got to kind of suck it up. You just shut up and do the job. Nobody can say you're just standing around doing nothing like the rest of those jokers doing. I feel like I'm working the place all by myself, honestly. I really do. Nobody wants to sell, and that's really strange. You got all these employees, whether it's 3 or it's 15, nobody wants to sell. You know, I want to make my paycheck. So anyway, I'm asking this manager above me. So, when's payday? How do they do the payroll? And she's like, well, you know, um, I don't remember when the cutoff is. Now, here's a girl that's worked for this company for 5 years. She comes back and forth, and uh, to work, and certain months of the year, and she does. It's like she doesn't even know. Um, I'm like, someone's payroll, or do you know the cutoff point of payroll? Because somebody had told me it was like last week, and she says, well, I'm not sure, but uh, I think we get paid this next week. And I said, oh, okay. I said, so like, how many of my shifts you think will be on that payroll? And especially, my biggest concern is because I didn't get an employee number till today. Uh, is that going to be creating a problem for my payroll? And she said, oh, yeah, it will. I'm like, okay, so what are we talking here? And the pay there is every 2 weeks at that place, which I think is a little archaic, especially since the pandemic. Everybody's paying by the day of the week. And if I would have known payroll was every 2 weeks, I wouldn't even took that job. Um, so um, she says, well, so let's see, you wouldn't get this payroll coming, so it would be another 2 weeks and then a week after that. And I'm like, so it's going to take like 3 weeks or a month for me to get my first paycheck from this place? I mean, I don't get it. And then I'm sitting there thinking, this is why these kids are starving. This place is so screwed up, you know? Can't even get their pay. And the companies should be down here feeding these kids, okay? They should be bringing a truckload of crap to give to all these employees because they cannot buy their food. That's what I'm thinking now. So they can survive. That's no way to be treated. Not young or old. You go to work, you do the job, you get paid for the job. That's the way it goes. Now, the labor board for the state of Florida is sucky. You want to try to get a hold of the labor board, good luck. You're going to end up trying to write a letter and wait for their response, file with the BBB, and that's just, too, they're not going to do much unless they're registered. But in California, you call a labor board, in 24 hours, they threaten to lock the business up, literally with a padlock. They strictly advise them to pay promptly or else. Florida, good luck. My daughter's pay was held up like a month, and the guy had fired her, decided he was going to fire her. Okay, she was going to quit, but he decided he was going to fire her, and then turned around, we couldn't get her pay for like a month. It was just absolutely unreal. He did it intentionally. I was like, excuse me, labor board law is you have this many hours to, pay. And he was like, no, I don't care. And for like 4 weeks, he held her pay up and broke my heart for her to be abused like that. I hate trash people. This was the owner of a Mexican restaurant. He has two of them. One at it, Valparaiso area, and then one over in Fort Walton. I hate trash business people. But anyway. So now I'm really upset because I've got bills I have to pay. And I have to have gas. I have to have food myself. I need phone time. I would, got a side job because my business is slow, and I was concerned, before I had some, important debts due. I thought I better jump on it, man. I better start getting some revenue in so I can pay my bills because I don't know if I'm going to have the sales to cover it out of my business in time. It's like you got to see the train before it's coming. You know what I mean? You got to make that effort. So, that's why I had started looking for jobs and just whatever. So anyway, now I'm really not happy. Okay. Uh, because I'm going to be looking at a paycheck in 3 or 4 weeks. My first paycheck. Are you kidding? And then I lost 3 days of work altogether because I couldn't get my schedule. I mean, what kind of crap is that? So, Mickey Mouse place. That place is so damn Mickey Mouse, it's just ridiculous. And it's a huge corporate. Huge. And for many years. Many years. It's an old time company. So I am just shocked. Anyway, so The last 2 days were a lot better, and I did work with some of the same creeps that harassed me before. And they just kind of, kept to themselves, which was nice. No screaming, none of that crap. It just settled down. I thought, well, maybe they figured after the 3 days, and I still came back, that they couldn't do a thing about it, so they gave up. You know, they figured that maybe they couldn't drive me away. You know, um, I'm not in for the games, really not. So, the last 2 days was fun to work and not problematic with other employees. They had a lot of new hires. I felt so sorry for those new hires. But I was glad to see them hire because like I had told management, I said, they don't come to work. I said, time to go. I mean, these people are repeatedly calling in and then they show up when they want to. That's not the way it goes. The company has to run. And in order to get revenue, it has to run. So the thing is that, uh, you know, you got to have employees that want to come do the job. And so my answer solution is, start cutting folks loose. Well, this company apparently doesn't like to fire anybody. Somebody told me that story. They really don't like to fire people. I guess they've been sued a lot of times. I don't know. Or they do it wrong. They probably do it wrong. So, I told them, I said, well, what I would do is just start hiring a whole bunch of folks. That's what I would do. Just keep hiring and hiring and hiring. And the ones that show up to work are the ones you're going to get a schedule to. And the ones that keep calling in, you just go, well, we don't need you today. Well, check us tomorrow. And you just do it till they bail out because, you can't rely on them. So, trust me, there's lots of people still looking for work. So don't think there's a shortage of employees because there's not. They can get all the employees they want. They can put it on damn JobStack. And I have all kinds of people flying into that store. Okay? They'll be there in freaking 15 minutes to work. And they get daily pay. I also, told a DM about JobStack, where she can get crew. Why don't you put it through JobStack? And you can get crew, so you'd never be short. So, it's really nice when we have, like, 8 employees. At least we can unpack stuff and get it on the floor. It's like plenty of people, you know. So, and now, yesterday they were running 2 cash registers, thank God. And the girls on the front end, on the registers were great. They're really nice. They're a lot of fun. But there's only about 2 or 3 people there that are nice. It's really a strange place. So anyway, I've come to the conclusion that the trash just runs that store. That really bad shipwreck crew has taken over that store, and management is nothing. And management's so weak, they're not going to do anything. And that's not the way it goes. That's why you have management to run the lower staff, and to answer to the higher management. Your employees don't run the store. It's like I used to listen to showgirls go, well, this place wouldn't be nothing without us, so we run it. We are making their money. Well, there's another story behind that. It takes a lot of money to run a strip club. A lot of management, a lot of security cameras to keep it safe, and a lot of legalities that you have to watch out for. But, you got to remember, if you were so smart, you'd own it. Okay? Rule 1. If you were so smart, you would own it. So think about that. The next time you open your mouth with some trash, thinking you know how to run a business, if you were so smart, you would own it. So, yeah. And showgirls would be going, this place would be closed if it weren't for us. No, it wouldn't. It can become a regular cocktail lounge. There's girls traveling around the states that are looking for work. Don't think because, 4 or 5 of you go on strike that it's going to close the doors, because it won't. It won't. It has liquor. And there's several things in the world that sell real well: liquor, sex, and drugs. That's just a fact. It's always been that way, you know? Always been that way for years and years and years. The top selling items in this world are liquor, sex, and drugs. So it's always going to be that way, you know? Um, uh, there's always somebody who's going to want that, and they're always going to have the money for that. So, the strip club will run fine without you, or you and your 4 friends that think that you put the place under because you're gonna not work or walk out. No, there's 20 more girls waiting to come work by the hour from the from all over the states that walk in the door and go, "Hi, I need a job." Don't worry, you're easily replaced. You can always be replaced. Nothing is forever. Even if you get real comfortable at a job, you don't know what happens tomorrow. I promise you. I promise you that. I don't care how good you are, how comfortable you feel with all the people you work. You never know what happens tomorrow. And I got so much more to tell you, but I got to get going because I got to check a few more interviews that I got to go do this morning. Because I'm hoping if I can get hired and go to work today, that I can not have to go to that place. I really don't want to go there anymore, especially some stuff that happened yesterday. It's not cool and beyond belief. So I'll tell you more about that later. I love you guys. It's been a slice of heaven. I had to jump on some free Wi-Fi here to run the YouTube to save on my phone. Um, and I'll talk to you guys later. Do something kind for a stranger. Love everybody. And